we're going to measure the voltages and currents in the parallel circuit. I have the power supply set to 6 volts, and I have the multimeter set to be a voltmeter. It has a range of 20 volts, so the reading on the screen will be in volts. First thing I'm going to do is measure the EMF of the power supply where it's connected to the board. I get 5.91 volts, so very close to 6. Now I'm going to measure the voltage across the whole resistor setup, which really is the same as the EMF, but I'm measuring it a little closer to the actual resistors. Again, 5.91 volts. Now I'm going to measure the voltages across the individual resistors. I'm still using jack number 19 over here as the right end of each of them, but I'm going to put the positive probe closer to the actual resistors. So V1 for resistor 1, 5.91 volts. V2 for resistor 2, 5.91 volts. V3 for resistor 3, 5.91 volts. And V4 for resistor 4, 5.91 volts. Now we're going to measure the currents. To measure a current with the ammeter, I have this set to be an ammeter with a range of 20 milliamperes. So the reading on the screen is in milliamperes. You have to remove a jumper and splice the ammeter into the circuit. So this gap, 2, 3, is in the branch that includes the EMF. So we could consider this to be the current through the whole circuit. 16.38 milliamperes. Now measure the currents through the individual resistors. So for R1, jacks 5 and 6, 5.79 milliamperes. Resistor R2, 4.70 milliamperes. Resistor 3, 3.85 milliamperes. And resistor 4, so current I4 is 2.95 milliamperes. The resistances of the 4 resistors are R1 is 1,000 ohms, R2 is 1,250 ohms, R3 is 1,500 ohms, and R4 is 2,000 ohms. There are 2 other short branches that I want to measure the currents in. Branch over here, gap is 7, 8, and the branch here, the gap is 11, 12. There's another jumper between jacks 15 and 16, but that's the same current as I4, so I'm not going to measure those. There are 2 corresponding short branches on the right side, and we are conveniently going to ignore them. So the current in the first short branch, gap 7, 8, we'll record that as I sub A in the data table, 11.29 milliamperes. And for 11 to 12, it'll be current I sub B, 6.76 milliamperes. And those are the measurements for the parallel circuit.